Helldivers 2 has a problem. You see, Helldivers is in a bit of a rough spot, and I'm gonna talk about it, because I wanna talk about it. So, be prepared for some criticism and somewhat negative banter about this game. But if we all just take a step back real quick, I wanna say, this game is absolutely awesome. While this is a critique about the game's current state, let's not forget that this game absolutely rocks the house, and is still very fun. Don't forget that on its launch, it was hands down the best game on the market that you could play. And for me, it was the most fun I had with any game in my library since Halo 3. So even though I'm going to talk about the decline of Helldivers, it comes from an absolute place of love. Because truth be told, this game, through and through, is fun. It's not often we get a dev team that is this responsive and this flat out based, or a live service game that isn't scummy or full of dog shit. So while there are issues with this game, I truly believe to my core that they are temporary. And after a couple minor issues are ironed out, I think this game will reclaim back to its glory days. This game will bounce back, I'm sure of it. Will it climb back to its all-time peak? Probably not, but it will definitely find new footing with major updates. But huge player decrease. About 90% of players that started have dropped this game. What the fuck? However, 40,000 active players is still pretty respectable. I mean, if you just look at Halo Infinite's numbers or Mortal Kombat 1's numbers, you can realize that you could have it so much worse. So much worse. What started this? Many would say, myself included, that the PlayStation account linking literally killed this game. Because a PSN account was required to play, it region locked certain players that loved this game, even though they were already playing when the game launched. I don't think it would have been the worst thing in the world if when this game launched, it started with the requirement of needing... Motherfucker. When the game launched, it already had the base requirement of needing a PSN account. But to be honest, I don't think Sony knew what kind of golden goose they had. They never do. I view this event as more of a little push rather than the all-out reason this game died. I think players were leaving for a more fundamental reason. Firstly, the updates this game were getting were awesome at the beginning. Lately, with each new expansion, it seems like we're getting a little less and less each time, and they're all being pumped out rather slowly, to the point where I had no real desire to continue to play this game, so I gave it up for a little bit, which is fine. It's okay to leave a game with the prospect of coming back when new and bigger and better things get added to it. That's okay, that's healthy. You don't need to play this game 24/7. I left this game with absolutely no ill will towards it whatsoever. In fact, I hopped back on this game to record footage for this very video, and I found myself having an absolute blast. I was quickly reminded that the core gameplay loop of Helldivers 2 is flat out awesome. Oh shit. Hello.
Who is missing every shot?
Guilty as charged.
Shooting all the way over there.
No, sorry, you said that you guilty as charged.
However, for the few hours that I did end up playing it again, while I was having fun, I really didn't see or notice anything new. Now, I know on paper there were new enemy types, new customization, and an escort mission. Who doesn't love an escort mission? Off the cuff, surface level, I saw nothing new. It felt like the same old Helldivers since I played at launch. I also found out that there is a new difficulty added, which I am never fucking touching. So I left my gameplay session thinking nothing had actually changed. There are big things Arrowhead could do for this game to make it cool again. Like, you know what would be cool? I don't know, like a raid or something? One big final boss that you and all your buddies have to kill? Or a new game mode where you crank up the number of players that are allowed in a lobby, like to 10, 15, fucking 20? Or, you know, maybe a third new faction, a third new enemy type that would be really cool to have in a game now, yesterday? I'm just spitballing. The other issue that ended up being the catalyst for Let Super Earth Burn, history will not be kind to those traitors, was the constant nerfing of tools and weapons that were the most fun. You see, when the game launched, you had a bit of an issue. The issue was that everyone was rocking the same weapons, same loadouts, same stratagems because they were by far the best in the game. And this led to a little bit of repetitive gameplay and stale action. So Arrowhead had two choices to fix this problem. Option A, you buff other weapons and stratagems and tools to match the fun factor of the top dogs, while simultaneously making enemy types harder and more difficult to fight. Oh, sweetie, I'm filming. You gotta get out of here. No, you can't be... Honey, you can't. They had two choices. They could buff the existing weapons and tools and stratagems to match the fun factor of the top dogs, or they can nerf the shit out of their most fun assets in the game. They went with the latter. So this has made players super frustrated and not really enjoying the game that much because, wow, the flamethrower looks cool as hell and maybe I want to pick it up, but now I know it's borderline useless, so there's no real reason to pick up or use the flamethrower. For me, I'm a simple man. I never really play at those high difficulties because I'm a little baby man who can't handle stress or high difficulty situations, and it makes me panic and my hands get sweaty and I just don't want to play it, okay? So why don't you get off my back? I can see that players that play this game a lot would be super bummed by the constant nerfing of their favorite weapons, especially if they do play at those really high difficulties where it becomes almost impossible to play. But past all of that, those are minor changes, they can be fixed. The fundamental reason I think players are leaving is the overwhelming feeling of, what do I do now? The progression in this game leaves a lot to be desired. Honey, am I boring? The progression in this game leaves a lot to be desired, and my goopy goblin brain doesn't even have the first clue on how to fix it, but I'm gonna do my best anyway, because I can. For starters, please put the Illuminate in the game. I know that has nothing to do with progression, but I just want them. I need my little aliens. I need them. Put them in the game. Put them in the game right now. We all want it so bad, and if they make their way into this game, I guarantee you all citizens of Super Earth will cling back to this game and pretend like nothing had even happened. Except you. You're not coming back. But in terms of progression, and this harkens back to the first couple updates this game received. Oh my god, it's hot as fuck in here. We just need a little bit more carrot on the stick, if you know what I mean. Maybe like a new free battle pass, or allow us to find shaders or unlock new colors that we can then put on our armor. Have it so maybe you can find ultra rare armor sets by doing the highest difficulty of missions, and you can only find that armor in-game, not in the store, not in a battle pass, you just have to find it. I am not a game dev, so I can't really begin to tell Arrowhead how to fix these issues, but I am enough of a gamer to realize that something is missing. If you could unlock new vehicles that isn't just mechs, you know, like the speeder things, the speeder things from Star Wars would be cool. Being able to pilot a tank, or having a low orbit aircraft that allows you to fly and adds like new verticality to the game. I think these would be incredibly awesome, and I'm surprised they're not in the game yet. The only vehicle that is in the game moves slower than you do at walking speed. I appreciate the creative expression that Arrowhead is moving towards when it comes to customizing the color of your drop pod, or your mech, or your evacuation ship. But I still can't change the color on my armor? Dude, it just looks so weird. Like, let me fix that. I don't want a shit ton of small, insignificant whatever updates that, you know, just kind of keep you moving a little bit. I want the big crescendo updates that take a really long time to build and add a whole new enemy type and way more guns and way more armor sets and stuff like that. Like, that's what we want as Helldivers players. But I know, I'm a very spoiled gamer. But do you know who made me this spoiled? You did, Helldivers. You did. By making such an awesome game, you set the bar so high. By making one of the best games I have ever played, you set the bar high. So, you know, hit that bar, dog. Which is a good problem to have, alright? But just so you know, put the fucking aliens in the game.